All right, so the Buffalo Bills now 6-5. They did get a win today against the Jacksonville Jaguars at home. Not often do we find ourselves talking about the Bills heading into December with a winning record, but still a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, there is. And, what we saw from that game was a team that essentially went into the first 28 minutes asleep.
Yep.
Somehow was within a point at halftime, and then woke up thanks to LaShawn McCoy with one of the first couple of plays in the second half. So the Bills have plenty to work on. They have to work on their secondary. They have to work on their passing game because that's not up to snuff just yet. However, you have to take away with the fact that the running game really led the way, and against a team that was stacking the box against them, saying, all right, we dare you to throw, and the Bills ran it against them anyway, one of which for a 75-yard touchdown. That's the good to take away from the game, and they got the job done against the team they needed to beat.
So LaShawn McCoy, he has that big 75-yard run, but any other big plays that he made? Because in the first half, it seemed like they were shutting him down.
No, they were.
And then in the second half, it didn't really seem like he did that much either, except for that one play that Rex was talking about after the game where he broke off the tackle and he made the first down. So, overall, pretty good game for him still, even if you take out that 75-yard touchdown?
I'm not taking away that 75-yard touchdown. Right. I refuse to take away it because that was all him. That jump cut to get out in the open field was because the Jaguars over-pursued and he got out into open space. So I will not take that away from him. But his performance outside of that, I mean, you look to the pass play that you brought up where he broke the tackle, was the safety blanket for Tyrod Taylor, kicked it upfield, and then went out of bounds because he said he was gassed. We'll give him a pass on that because he was pretty good the rest of the game.
For sure.
And then late in the game, a couple of big runs to help
He had the one to lock it up, too. That
Exactly. I mean, how many times have we seen the Bills this season where they have an opportunity to lock a game away and they end up having to punt it? And then even last week against the Bengals, they had an opportunity to put the game away. They didn't. So that is to his doing as well. So, LaShawn McCoy, to me, just stole the show. He was supposed to. This was not a good Jaguars run defense, and he did. And even though the odds were against him because they put 8 defenders in the box.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I tweeted right after the long touchdown, why don't they just throw to Sammy Watkins? Every time he's single covered or every time even that you think you can get him a shot. I mean, he's back from IR, and once again, he's really good.
Yeah, he is very good. He was a bit muted today. He wasn't on the field all that much. I don't have the exact snap count, but Watkins, when he was out there, I mean, his long reception against Jalen Ramsey, the rookie for the Jaguars, a thing of beauty. He just flat out beat him. And Jalen Ramsey's a talented player, don't get me wrong. So I like the job that Watkins did. He looked like he was playing a lot faster than he did earlier in the season when he actually played. I'm with you. Manufacture targets for that guy whenever he's on the field in those spots because you don't have many players like him. Yeah. Why aren't you throwing him the ball? So as we kind of get going here, that's a Tyrod problem too. As we kind of get going here, I expect them to up his snap counts, up his targets, which will in part up his receptions and yardage as well.
Marcel Darius dominant when he was on the field in the first half, but then in the second half we really didn't see him. What's going on with him?
Oh God, was he ever? I mean, every time he makes a huge play, I just think about all the times that I've seen people on Twitter to say to cut him because of injuries and of course the suspension not a big is a huge thing with this. But that being said, I mean, you look at what he was able to do in the first half. I mean, he was just plowing through people.
His second sack, it looked like he got shot out of a cannon.
Oh, yeah.
So, for you guys at home, we usually shoot the game kind of in an angle, so we have the play coming towards us. I was actually getting ISOs of Darius when it happened, and all of a sudden, he just storms into the picture and just destroyed Blake Ward. It was insane.
I know. And, Darius moves like a 240-pound man trapped in a 340, 350-pound man's body. I mean, he's just extremely talented. Left the game with abdominal issues. We'll have to see what happens as the week kind of goes on here. But, when he's on the field, it's noticeable. And the team is a much different defense. I honestly think if he had not been on the field in that first half, that was probably a much bigger deficit than it was.
Tyrod, we going here, we going here, we going here. I would say there.
I'm there with you because I mean, he illustrated exactly what you like about him and what drives you nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, what you like about the guy, first and foremost, keeps plays alive with his legs. Finds yardage where there isn't, and then the deep ball accuracy, that's there. I mean, connecting with Sammy Watkins like he did. What you don't like, the fact that he panics in the pocket and leaves it too early, which kind of goes hand in hand with making people miss. So, it's kind of a, take one thing, leave the other. You kind of have to, choose your poison there. And then short to intermediate accuracy, really lacking, and not seeing guys open on the field or not allowing routes to progress
We talk
in front
about
of
that
him.
with Charles Clay all the time.
Charles Clay's open at least 3 or 4 times a week that Tyrod Taylor simply does not see.
And like really open.
Yeah.
Not like, oh yeah,
So
he's
that-
kind of open. Like really open.
So that's why when people are like, "Oh, that Charles Clay guy kind of stinks, doesn't he?" No, he doesn't. I mean, this is a Tyrod Taylor problem, not a Charles Clay problem.
All right. So 6-5.
Uh-huh.
They've got a winning record. Amari Cooper, Derek Carr, Khalil Mack. Big opponent next
They
week.
need Ronald Darby to come back because Corey White going up against either Crabtree or Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
No, and Derek Carr especially. I mean, that's not a good thing. And they can simply put, they cannot have Jonathan Meeks at safety against the Raiders because that passing attack is huge.
Yeah, but can they have Blanton or...
No, Blanton's on IR.
Yeah, so
we're
what do they
talking
do?
about Hedigbo at strong safety and
okay.
have Corey Graham being the single high. I mean, that's...
You were talking about this on Twitter today. Aaron Williams, like the biggest injury that they've had.
Yeah, absolutely, because you think about the impact that he had. He was an average player this year. I mean, he wasn't anything to write home about.
But he wasn't bad. Like
the drop-off from him to Blanton and Meeks is so crazy that when you talk about Watkins being out for 8 weeks, you can almost tolerate that because the offense was kept afloat by LaShawn McCoy and by Robert Woods at times. So, it's to them, they have a major safety problem.
All right, what are you, 7-1 in picking your last 8 games, you said?
Yes. I'm not going to boast about it, though.
Okay, I'll boast for him. All right, have a good one, guys. 6-5. Hey, I think that's probably what a lot of people would have thought, and winning record.
Yep.
See you guys later.